After what's just a wildly long time of expectation, Alexa has finally gotten its AI upgrade, or at least it's been announced. Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. Quick note, because I know that you are all going to be wondering about the coverage of OpenAI's GPT 4.5, which is very clearly launching today, given that at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, OpenAI tweeted live stream in 4.5 hours. Can't imagine what that means. That will, of course, presumably be our main episode for tomorrow. Alas, we are recording this show before that comes out. And our main topic in the headlines today is that Amazon has unveiled the long-awaited AI Alexa. Agents were everywhere in this demo, with Amazon depicting the new Alexa, booking concert tickets, making restaurant reservations, and texting a babysitter. Alexa's agents will be capable of interacting with first and third-party apps, with Uber, Grubhub, TripAdvisor, and Ticketmaster all highlighted during the presentation. A suggested use case was asking Alexa whether anyone in the house had walked the dog recently, with the agents capable of checking security camera footage to figure it out. The live demo was focused on a typical conversation. It showed off updated voice capabilities, allowing a much more natural and free-flowing conversation than the old Alexa was capable of. Now, I should say here, I have frequently called out that I don't love the personal assistant application of agents as the thing that companies focus on. I do think it might be a little bit different with a home system like Alexa. Talking to Alexa to order food makes more sense to me, given that it's already installed in your house and is an integrated part of your system, than some other general purpose agentic app that you would sign up for in the future. Still, ultimately, this was all just demo. And the question will, of course, be whether Amazon can actually deliver a consistent experience once the rollout begins next month. You might remember that AI Alexa has had a troubled development cycle, facing multiple delays over the past couple of years. As recently as a month ago, it was reported that Amazon was unsure Alexa would be ready for the market. Last October, Bloomberg reported that the team was finding AI Alexa prone to lengthy droning answers and had trouble with basic functionality like turning on lights in a smart home. The demos we did get were promising, but most features weren't shown live and the press weren't able to test the device. So ultimately, we'll have to wait and test it out for ourselves. One interesting part of the announcement is that rather than running a purpose-built model, we'll actually be model agnostic. The system can draw upon Amazon's Nova family of models, as well as Anthropic's Claude 3.7, depending on which is best suited to the task. Now, in case it wasn't clear, this new AI Alexa is a big bet for Amazon and is very important. Despite shipping hundreds of millions of Alexa-enabled devices, that division has actually lost over $25 billion since 2017. The original thesis had been that consumers would order more from Amazon with Alexa facilitating the sales, but that never really played out. The AI upgrade was viewed as a product that could drive subscription revenue directly. Amazon is starting out with Alexa Plus as a $20 per month subscription, but will offer it for free to Amazon Prime subscribers. Importantly, the upgrade will be compatible with almost every Alexa device. And so what we've got on our hands here, friends, is that this will be the first big test of household agents. Will we see a breakthrough of futuristic voice-activated smart homes, or an embarrassing failure that shows that we just aren't ready for primetime yet? Gavin Purcell of the AI for Humans show wrote, "It took forever, but Amazon has finally shown up in consumer AI. Can't wait to try this. Alexa is the voice device in homes. We literally have 5 of them, but really only have been useful for alarms and reminders. If this works, Amazon immediately becomes way more AI relevant." Investor and builder Yohei writes, "Was curious who'd make big moves into consumer agents, but gotta say, Alexa Plus is pretty well positioned. Free for Prime members, rolls out to hundreds of millions of existing devices, many already connected to home devices, and of course shopping. Curious to follow adoption." I don't have much to add to all this, other than I think that it is very smart to make this free for Prime members. I think that it's going to be harder than Amazon probably anticipates to get people to sign up for a new subscription for Alexa Plus, but I do think as a value add for a Prime subscription, it's incredibly valuable. This will also get a lot of usage right away, and also the fact that it doesn't require upgrading devices significantly increases its chances of success in my estimation. Basically, people are just going to have a totally different threshold for how good it has to be. If they can do it with the devices that they already have installed and it's bundled in with the subscription they already pay for, I think people will be a lot more forgiving and a lot more experimental and a lot more of a partner to help Amazon figure out where to actually drive value here. Next up today, Perplexity continues its breakneck pace, announcing a $50 million investment fund for seed and pre-seed startups. Now, the majority of the capital will come from outside investors, although Perplexity is using some of its recent growth capital to anchor the fund. On the one hand, some people are a little surprised to see a startup as young as Perplexity getting into this sort of game. But at the same time, I think Perplexity sees itself as competing with some of the biggest giants out there. It wants to be able to invest in its own ecosystem. It wants to keep developers close. and my guess is that they see this as a way to help that strategy. Lastly today, an interesting one from Anthropic. Claude 3.7 Sonnet might have been kind of cheap to train. After sharing his testing of Anthropic's new flagship model, Professor Ethan Mollick was contacted by the team. They told him, quote, Sonnet 3.7 would not be considered a 10 to the 26 flop model and cost a few tens of millions of dollars, though future models will be much bigger. This seems to demonstrate how much training costs have collapsed over just a few years. Sam Altman has said that the GPT-4 training run in 2023 cost upwards of $80 million, while Google's Gemini Ultra training in 2024 cost around $190 million. Of course, getting these numbers out there is pretty important right now for US labs given the hype around DeepSeek. That company claims that DeepSeek V3 was trained using just $6 million worth of compute, and Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei had previously made the point that an apples-to-apples comparison shows US labs are capable of similarly frugal training on leading models. Last month, for example, he claimed that Claude 3.5 Sonnet had also been trained for a few tens of millions. Still, Amodei does expect that future training runs on next-generation clusters could see costs in the billions, but also deliver improvements to justify the price tag. Anyways, friends, interesting things happening out there in the world of AI. That is going to do it for today's AI Daily Brief Headlines edition. Next up, the main episode.